Alright, so this is the top swale. Of course, the path is all lined with wood chips. You notice that little sprinkler there. I've got these set up throughout this system for irrigation. And I found that these little spinny guys here, I don't know what you call these, but these are the only sprinklers I've been able to use that my hard water doesn't just completely jack up. And if it jacks them up at all, you take the head off and soak it in some vinegar and you're good to go. You'll see there's not really much planted here. I'm thinking about what to do here. I'm thinking about doing maybe one cool tree. And I've got a plum sitting around and a peach sitting around. One or the other might work here. That would be really nice. And doing a clump here of probably blackberry and wolfberry, because I've got some beautiful wolfberry to put in. Wolfberry, also known as goji berry. Now this jungle here is a mix of cover crop. There's some vetch in here, lots of cowpea, lots of buckwheat, but there's also a lot of things I've planted that's kind of hiding in the works. Right there's a kiwi, and that's a self-fertile female kiwi, and she's gonna go right up that tree right there. If I can kind of pull back for you, you can see how that overhangs. So since that oak's already there and I didn't want to take it out, that's going to become a kiwi trellis. Now, right here, the light colored little green leaf right there, that's hops. That's Nugget Hops, which is the only hop variety known to do well in climates like Texas. And it's going to go up that tree, and there's actually several hop rhizomes. So we'll have hops up this tree right here. And again, you've got cowpea, vetch. This is mullen right there, big old mullen leaf coming up. Vetch right here, cowpea. All this is support species to establish this. Remember, this was just put in this fall. These were all hand dug. You'll have to take my word for it because it's kind of hard to find and show you, but there's a honeyberry, which is kind of like a honeysuckle blueberry type thing in there. And this is a white currant. That's a pink currant. You can see all the shade they're getting here. They're quite happy. There's another honeyberry. I can find this one for you pretty good right there. That's a honeyberry. So that's coming up nice. Right here is an Aronia. Looks an awful lot like the cowpea, but you can see it's got this round leaf where the cowpea has more of a triangular shaped leaf. You can see the difference between them right there. I figure that confuses pests. They can't tell one from the other. You see this little stake? That's what I need to put next to my honeyberries. Whenever you bury something like this in a place, it's good to put a marker in there so you can easily find it. We'll talk about another place where I've done that in a second. But I planted that Aronia here for a reason. Real quick, I'll show you over here. You can see my main Zone 4 food forest coming up, big mainframe swales. I'll show you later in a later video. Way down there is a little Aronia bush clump way at the end where I'm not going to see it every day. So by having one here, when they start to fruit, I'll know to go down there and start picking when this one starts to fruit. I learned that from Ben Falk. Back here, up against that post right there, you can see the post, is a Goumi. Same thing. I've got a clump of Goumis over there. I've got one here. That tells me when things are starting to get ready to deal with. All of these sunflowers, all this jungle you're seeing here, 100% volunteers. The cowpea and the buckwheat's not, and the vetch isn't, but all the sunflowers are. You can see I've chopped and dropped some of the sunflowers to open this area up. And the reason is I've got blueberries here and here. Now I want you to think about being a pest. Come back here, where's the blueberries? The way this is all growing is like a natural system. I'm controlling what I let come up, but I guess unless you're a pest, let's see the tag I left on the blueberries, they're gonna have a hard time finding things here. Here's another native weed, and I love to eat this stuff. This is lamb's quarters. Chinpodium species. Another lamb's quarter right there. Slightly different one though. If you look at the size of the leaf on that, this is a larger leaf species. And there, all those little green things sticking up. That's Chinese water chestnut growing in the top tank. And this is something most of you guys have probably seen before. But this pipe right here, dumping water, comes from down there from that lower pond. It comes to right here underground. It overflows this little pipe right here. Actually, I need to turn that up a bit. And then it overflows that little stand-up pipe there. And it goes back down to that other pond way down there. And then it just recirculates. You can see our goldfish. And I don't know how well you can see them, but there's darker fish in there. And those darker fish are hybrid bluegills. We've got 25 hybrid bluegills in each pond. And if they make a meal or two for us, we'll call it a victory. And if they don't, we'll call it an experiment. We've got a little bit of mint in that pot right there. Water iris coming up, so we've got some water action going on. We really need to increase that. Over here, that's some echinacea. I've just moved out of the greenhouse and potted up in larger pots. And some Roman chamomile. So these guys are just getting big enough so they can go in the ground and be able to survive. You think I'm done with all this, huh? Well, that's a Black Beauty Muscadine right there. And you can see what that's going to do. See this branch right here that goes out over that pond? So we'll have Black Beauty Muscadine there. I've got more hops. I really need to get some string and train them up. So I'm going to put hops up the center of this tree. And then this is going to be awesome. I said that was Black Beauty. This is the Black Beauty. That's Red Scarlet Muscadine. Those two cross-pollinate. That's Red Scarlet. This is Black Beauty. And Black Beauty is a self-fertile muscadine. And it is going to go up this limb. And it is going to go right out there. And I'm going to train on the bottom side of that limb. And just to make the point of how cool this is going to be, because I know that you might be thinking, well, that's way up there in the air. Yeah, check this out right there. See that? I can reach real easy along here. All the way along there. And that right there, I need about 2 foot of ladder to get up there. So this whole thing is going to be suspended muscadines at some point. So you can kind of see the structure of that tree now, how that works out there. Over here we got our main 1,500-gallon water tank, rain catchment off the roof. Getting ready for the next wave of plantings into a variety of areas. These are all Paw Paw seedlings. So these are all Paw Paws starting from seed. They're looking pretty nice. These are some replacement trees that I'm not going to put in the ground. This is an all-in-one almond. I'm going to wait till fall to do this. It's a Metheny plum. That little guy that still looks like sticks back there is just starting to green out. That is a Texas Mission almond. This is a peach. I don't remember what variety. It is a Century peach. That's a Century peach. And that's a cheap old pear that I just picked up from Walmart. And down here, another score. These are 12 Primacane Blackberry plants, young ones. They'll be going into larger pots this week. And they will also not be going in the ground in the middle of this summer heat in June in Texas. They'll go in the fall. I'm thinking about doing a workshop for what I'll show you in a later video, where a lot of the stuff will be going in. But I got those on clearance from Stark Brothers. And I got those per 6-pack for $7. About $1 and what, 15 cents each for Primacane Blackberry. Over here, just some squash plants that we've got starting. Sea berries, you'll see where they're going to go in a later video. It's a coffee plant we're playing with. A couple more Paw Paws. And this little guy right here, that's a Tibetan chocolate vine that will be going in later in the year. I see I have everybody back here in the shade to protect things. And that's a wood frame that was left here by the prior owner that the wind just blew over on top of one of my sprayer tanks. That's a sprayer tank. It goes in the back of that trailer over there, which needs repair. That's why it's upside down right now. One of the wheels needs some repairing on it. When I get that done, And you think, what is a permaculturist doing with a sprayer tank? Well, I have another tank about the same size on the other side. I've got a pump system here. I'll show you in a video, and probably not in a video in this series, but soon, how this works. I built a sprayer so I can brew compost tea, and that way I can use that sprayer right there, put in that trailer, drive my tractor around, and I can spray without even getting off the tractor. And I don't have to do that a lot, it's just once in a while. So there's the beehives over there. Anyway, we'll show you some more in another video.